Aquarius, how you doing? How's your week been? Did you manage to feel yourself a bit empowered? Did you get your relationships in shape? What was going on for you? There's also stuff going on with Saturn going into your sign this last week, the 7th of June. And that plays into the hands of the vibration in general, which I put on Cymatic TV. If you've seen those energy updates, if you haven't, there is a link to Cymatic TV in the descriptions below. And basically, the message that was coming from the energy lines going across the earth was the human race needs to take a good, hard, cold look at itself. And it was nothing to do with nature. It was really a poignant message towards the humans in a way that we can't change the world, as it were, but we can change ourselves individually. And I think it's the subtle changes that we make in our lives, the positioning we take according to society will make society change. So I think it's a good time for people to assess the situation. The energy was also in this lull factor and between two tides, as it were. And that's also a good moment to be able to sort of stop and relax, look around and just give us a quick heads up on the position of where we are. And I'll tell you what, you've got already on your reading, you've got the 7 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups. None of that's moving fast. Don't worry, everyone's had them. It is really weird. This week here is phenomenally slow by the looks of things. And because it's slow, you're going to be able to see the little things in life. Bizarrely enough, it's the little things that are going to be the most important in the future as we're going forward. Let's just see what the energy is across the whole sort of reading here. And this is following in the fixed signs. The fixed signs this week are very particular compared to the other signs. They've got a very solid set foundation, a lull in the middle section, but a really good outcome or really solid outcome leading into the following week. And you've got this situation here, but it's much more geared onto the universe connection and also to do with the outcome, which is in petal 10, which we'll see at the end of the reading. And it creates this triangle factor. Now, Aries had the same thing going on there. And it was all about asking a lot from the outside world and positioning ourselves, basically. That was sums everything right up to a real short sentence. But you've got a similar sort of situation going on there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that leads out of this week into the following week. For those of you who don't know the Astroflower, please go down into the links below. There's loads of stuff about the elements, the petals. There's loads of stuff going on in there. We do loads of stuff on Instagram as well. If you want to be part of the Astroflower family, it's very simple. You just need to subscribe and click that bell and you will be there, you know. And it's a process thing that we go through here at the Astroflower. So you gradually get into rhythm of life. And once you get into that rhythm of life, then you can start really building. Without that rhythm, running from pillar to post is not going to help you. So it's a case of slowing down, taking a stock, and then building up your pace and getting into a real flow. Okay, so this is your karmic path. This is on your relationship side. This is on your financial side, and that's that. So according to it, this is the overall energy that's running through you, and this is the outcome. So let's get straight in there with the overall energy and see what's going on there. Ace of Pentacles. So what's the overall energy? This is really pushing over towards the relationship side. So it's following on what you had last week. So if you empowered yourself last week, it would make the relationships a lot stronger and be very positive outcomes for your relationships. It's almost now sort of saying, okay, now we've managed to clear a bit of space and we know which relationships are really working well. How can we build upon those relationships there? What's the long-term plan, as it were? And I think this is what's playing into here at the moment. You're still within your spring period, which you'll be coming out of in Leo, but you're still within your spring period. So it's still a case of cultivating the projects through the year. And I think this has got to be on the relationship side more than anything else. Okay, let's see what's going on with your karmic path here. This builds up in a similar sort of way here. The thing about the Seven of Cups, it's normally about sort of choice, but it can be about sort of procrastinating. But as I say, in life, there is no choices. There's just an evident path for you to be following. So you might have sort of like 10 possibilities in front of you. And once you have a good hard look at those possibilities, then eventually you're going to say, it's evident that I do that. So there's no real choices in life. It's just an illusion to sell you a philosophy, religion, or political system, or that sort of thing. In reality, there's no real choices, and it's this card here is accumulating everything into a point where this is how I should be. This is what I want. This is where I feel most comfortable. This is where the happiness flows from me, like the water flows from that one cup only on this card. So this is what you should be building in towards. Let's see how the universe sort of like, that's what you should be cultivating this week. Let's see how the universe sort of like plays it in. The universe is coming in here with a very solid sort of vibration. I think it's tied into the overall vibration, the Ace of Pentacles as well. And it's offering you the tree of life, the understanding of possibilities for you, that there are fruits upon that tree of life that you can harvest when you need it. So the universe is sort of saying, we're here when you need us, sort of situation. Okay, so Two of Swords, a question of choice, or question of two possibilities, and maybe there's actually more than two possibilities here, because once you look into one possibility, there's loads of different possibilities within that. And here is the universe is sort of saying, if you take a look around you, you've actually got the resources that you need. And that might be this procrastination side, kind of going, oh, I haven't got enough, I haven't got this, I haven't got that. But the universe is sort of saying, if you just stop, take it easy in your relationships, with your family, your friends, and your community, and your partners, you're going to be in a situation where you actually realize you've got all the resources you need. And I think this is more of a case of Two of Swords here, is more the universe sort of saying, don't worry, we've got your back. Rely upon the universe. You know, it's a fair exchange normally between us and the universe as individuals and also collective. But as an individual, it's almost as if like the universe gives loads more than what we actually give. But yeah, here it's sort of saying, don't worry about your future, or don't worry about your relationships. If you're going to cultivate them, therefore, and you're true to yourself, there will be no real choices. You could probably do this blindfolded. But let's just see how the guides are trying to influence this karmic path. It's like a flower with a stamen that comes directly out. So it's almost as if like the flower is opening up, the flower of life is opening up to you, and you're going to realize that there's only one possible solution out of this. The magical ingredient to happiness is sharing your pleasures. And I think this is what it's like you're offering to the outside world. So the guides are offering you that capacity, maybe. The guides here are offering you that gift that you can actually produce from yourself, if you trust within the system of what you've got going on here, trusting in your position within your relationships. And this is that calm I'm talking about between two waves, which I probably is going to come back in on the solstice or the equinox. No, it's the solstice, sorry, of the 21st of June, summer solstice. And I think it's that lull before that solstice moment. And this is where your guides are sort of saying, they're almost copying the universe as well. They're saying you have it. You have these gifts within you. You have all possibilities. You have the resources if you so desire. And it's just a case of being a little bit inventive and relying upon the help that is around you. Let's see how the guides are trying to influence that conversation that is within you. This is that triangle maybe that we're talking about. It seems to be coming to a point here because it's going outwards rather than inwards. And I think this is where you're sowing it. So this is what you might feel like trouble under the surface. So these may be very internal things that you're doing here, and allowing the universe and the guides to just carry you through that. It's sometimes really difficult to do the work when we're in the midst of it. But these guides are here of sort of pulling you on to the forward into the future and sort of saying, pointing out, kind of going, oh, what about that barbecue going, or what about going to the theatre with this person and stuff. They're trying to encourage you for that to be socialised, really. 8 of Wands messages. I would be concentrating on that side. I think you've got that foundation within you at your base. And I think these, as I say, these cards here are symbolising that with the help you're getting from the universe, but also from your guides. That is a rite of passage from one side to the other. And you don't have to do anything to get over there. All you need to do is just get on board. And I think that's talking about sort of getting on board on the long-term plan for you. And those messages there, I think they're messages there. You might have these thoughts that just suddenly come there that kind of goes, what about going to the water park? To the water slide park. And just saying that to your sort of family and friends and your community or your partner. And, 2 or 3 people go, yeah, great idea, let's go. And this is it. It's this building that concrete connection with people, actual physical memories. So actually the joy of the moment gets ingrained in the collective memory rather than just your own individual memory. And I think that's what it's all about on this side. Let's go on to this on your money side. And so we're on to 7 of Pentacles. This is the karmic path here. And this comes from within you. So this is like a necessity that needs to happen. You've done some work in the past. This is what's happened. The stuff that you've done in the past is now starting to show signs of growth on that tree. And what they're trying to do here is build up those pentacles within its roots, so then the fruits can really come forward. So it's really, it's coming from within you. And then, so you might have a stage this week where in that calm, you'll notice things that you didn't really notice before that you've done a long time ago, that comes back up on the radar, and you kind of go, oh yeah, what about that that painting I invested in? Oh, look at it, it's worth a fortune now. That sort of thing. Okay, that's a bit extreme, but it's that sort of thing that comes up. So it could come up within your job when you've got a situation where you'd done a report 4 or 5 months ago, and all of a sudden your director comes walking through the office or walking through the business and sort of says, I saw your comment about that situation, very interesting, can we talk about it a little bit further? And that's going to open doors for your career. So I think that's what it's about. It's coming from within you, and that's got to be nurtured and pruned and encouraged to grow. Let's see how the universe is affecting that. That's pushing out as well. Not only is that pushing forward like that, that's pushing out there. So that's creating that whole wall factor that's going on there. If you want to eat, you've got to go out in the field and collect the fruit. It's not going to just arrive on your plate. And that's what it's sort of saying here, is sort of to nurture those sort of plans or those future possibilities. You've also got to go out there and get it. And the universe is trying to sort of encourage that flow so you can reach out into the world and take an idea or take an opportunity or take a situation at your work. She can turn it into a benefit for you and your career path or your business path. And obviously, once you start doing better, other people around you will start doing better. It's a knock-on effect, and that's that sort of like. And I think the universe is encouraging you to bring in your resources. That's what it's sort of saying there. So gifts from the universe, bringing in those resources from the outside. I think the universe is actually going to collect them for you more than anything else. So maybe it is a case of it's just going to arrive on your plate. That's possibly it could be. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm a bit of a staunch person for hard labour, as it were. And maybe it's a case of sit back and just allow the money to roll in. That's what it seems like, anyway. Sometimes we can pick things up on the wrong end of the stick, but there is always two sides to it. Let's just see how the universe, how the guides are sort of trying to influence your karmic path. This is much more sort of stable. Still coming in here, there's a lot of effect from this karmic path here upon the guides. So they're weeding the possibilities of the outside world. So as the universe brings stuff in, it's almost as if like this is the quality control section. Your guides are acting like quality control, and be true to your criteria. I think, yeah, look at that King of Pentacles, absolutely amazing, really. Yeah, the funny thing is none of these cards came up last week. No, none of them actually came up last week. So that's you're the unique one out of the whole lot, Aquarius, and that could have that whole Saturn thing sort of happening for you. Yeah, it's the King of Pentacles, so very sturdy, solid within your understanding of past understanding. This is what I mean about things that are done in the past. He's sitting on his throne. It's not gender specific, but it's, you know, the king is sitting on his throne simply because he's done the work in the background. He's understood, he's created that knowledge, and within that knowledge gives him that security. But it's also for the family, for the greater sort of pack, as it were. And he's the bit of a leader of the pack sort of scenario. And I think that's to do with those gifts coming in. I think that's to do with the work that's done in the past and building you into a really nice, solid future, which I think is going to affect your relationship side. Because as I said, the Ace of Pentacles were pulling into this sort of area here, and it's going to pull in the stuff from the outside world or from your money side of life. So it benefits your relationship side. So this, I think here is, it heightens the idea of don't worry, be happy sort of scenario. Let's see how the guides are trying to influence the conversation that is within you. This is exactly the same as that, but the opposite. So this is bringing in stuff. This is like that wave that's gone down on the beach, and as it goes back, it really pulls back. And, you know, I don't know if you've ever been on the sort of like west coast of California, of America, in California and stuff like that, or on the west coast of France, or, you know, where you get a lot of waves and you get that pull back sensation. It's almost as if like your guides are kind of going, bringing loads of stuff in for you. These are the quality control, and these are bringing in the ideas to see what fits with the gifts from the universe. That's what they're doing. They're pulling in the energy. So they're pulling in like the force of the world around you. And that's a very social force. It's connecting, it's networking. So it'd be a good thing to do networking maybe this week. One bright idea sparks another. So if you've got good ideas, or if you're really impacting out there, it's going to encourage the bright ideas in the other people, which is going to build up them, but also at the same time, it's going to build up you. So if in your business, you want to start doing a certain product, and you talk to one of your suppliers and they can produce that product, then all of a sudden you're ahead of the game, but also your supplier is ahead of the game. And therefore it builds up, it's a partnership thing going on there. So going back to the past, It's pulling in that ideas of the past. It's invigorating work you've done in the past. And I think that's energizing things. It's bringing things in. So with that lull at the moment, as the energy vibration in general slows down, it's pulling in all the resources of what you've had in the past. And it's going to make you very vibrant, not necessarily this week to actually start stamping or signing contracts. I don't think it's a case of that. I think it's a case of nurturing those gifts, making sure that the sort of thing that you want in your life and that they fit with your past as well, and bringing in that energy in order to give that spark of life within your projects. Let's just see what's going on the general outcome. Very fun card, very social. Playing in the force of nature can provide enormous inspiration or sort of intuition in a way. Pick your wave wisely. I think this is a case here that if you wanna ride a wave, make sure it's the right size for you and it's going at the right speed and everything like that. I do believe that you can actually push things a little bit further now. I think you can push the boundaries a little bit maybe this week, just to see how the land lies, as it were. So yeah, and I think that's going to make next week, once you start riding some of these waves, it's going to make next week a lot more possible and defined about where you should be investing your time and effort and everything like that in the next coming week. The sun, it is pure joy. Did I say at the beginning? I sort of like saying, don't worry about it, have fun. I think this is the most optimal part for you, Aquarius. It's really good. So you've got to enjoy yourself. Get out there, go and play in the waves. And as you play in the waves, you'll learn a lot about your financial side, but it'll also help you to develop your personal relationships within your family, your friends, your community, and your partner. And if you do this work, it's very simple stuff. It's not massive stuff. It's very complicated. It's being very attentive to little things in life. If you do that work, it's going to be difficult for you to be knocked over in the future. Yeah, as I say, life does throw us a curveball every now and then. But this is going to set you up really nicely, Aquarius. Okay, so I hope that does help you out for this coming week and helps you get the best out of life. If you want to be part of the Astroflower family, as I said, it's very easy. Please do just subscribe and click that bell. The moment you do that, you will be part of the family and you get more notifications on the videos that we do. There's loads of links in the description below. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.